Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you for letting me and give me a platform. I appreciate it.
If I could build a bigger platform for you and so many others, I would do so. And this is what we've had to do now. Have these very personal stories for people who are suffering and are doing their damnedest to try to care for their family and doing the right thing. Have to come on out here and air this in front of the public. That's what that is what DC has turned us into. And we are not human jukeboxes. These are real people with real stories. And thank you for your courage in coming on here and telling a room full of strangers your business.
Of course. And I'll do it again. Yeah.
That's what fighting like hell looks like. And that's what fighting like hell looks like. We will not be silent in the face of this. You know, I took care of, as a nurse during bedside, I took care of people who were needing to leave their aunts and uncles at the hospital, their kids, I did adults, their kids at the hospital and go to work because they couldn't afford to take time off to be with their loved ones. Now let me tell you something about hospitals if you've never been in. We just don't admit anybody to hospital. We admit people to hospital because there's something in your body that's actively trying to kill you. And you come to us and we work our butts off to try to save your life. Yes. That's what we do in hospitals. And then what happened this last session? People passed Prop A 57% because making sure that you can spend time with your family when you're sick or they're sick is crucial to being a real person and being a human being, as opposed to just going to a job that will fire you like that if you have the misfortune of getting sick or misfortune of having a family member who gets hurt. And what did we see? The will of the people, all the organizing that we did, just blown away.
Our voices taken away.
Our voices taken away.
Yep.
Disappearing like tears in the rain. That's what they did. And I'm not going to let them get away with that.
Thank you.
I'm going to be able to tell this story over and over again of what they did to people who are sick and injured, to families who are going to work. That's what they did. You were talking about, me and talking about Medicare. That was some good stuff that I had to say earlier. I don't remember what it was.
Not a spot like that, but I think I can follow up from your conversation. The reason that they were able to repeal some of those provisions of Prop A is because it was a proposition. But the reason we have to go back and re-vote on reproductive rights is because we had that put in the Constitution. And as lawmakers, we can't change that Constitution. We have to go back to voters to ask them to do that. So if we look back on when we did Medicaid expansion, as you recall, our legislators didn't want to do it. Despite the fact that their constituents were asking them to do it, they didn't want to do it. Didn't we have to vote for it twice? Yes. And when we voted for it, guess where we put it? In the Constitution. In the Missouri Constitution. So if that big beautiful bill cuts Medicaid to Missourians, guess who has to pay for it?
Missourians.
We do, because it's in the Constitution. So there's already been talk about the fact that we might have to be called back to a special session again this year if that happens. So that may be the silver lining to have fought so hard to get that. And I hope that it doesn't get cut at the federal level. But we got one more backstop. That hopefully this frightening nightmare of yours won't become real. But unfortunately, you are going to have to live it and fight it and continue telling your story because it will help. It will help so much.
I have just one more thing.
Yes, please.
Sorry. I am a stay-at-home mom. I had to quit my job whenever I had my daughter. I thought I was just going to take, a couple more weeks off, and then it turned into this. So this is what I do. I am trying to advocate on social media. Like I said, I've probably called Bob Onder's office 50 times, and he will not call me back. So I encourage all of you, when you leave here, call him. Call your congressman, call your representatives, call freaking Josh Hawley's office. He isn't calling me back, but maybe if he gets enough rings, he will start caring. Now, he has said publicly that he is not for Medicaid cuts, and that's why I'm here to hopefully get the message to him that he really can't, that we are screwed if he does. And I encourage all of you, just call your representatives, call your senator, call anybody that you can, and just try to get your message out. Your voice is not gone. We will not be silenced. We can't let them silence us. Trust me, I ain't gonna be silent. I have a very loud voice, everybody. So, I just encourage all of you,